This lesson for our Koine project class, we'll look at James 2:10. We've looked at it before, but in this case, the concept in religion that promotes works modifies the gospel, and certainly it's a different gospel, which is not another gospel. Paul made that very clear, and Paul was once the highest among the legalists, and even touted that he was blameless according to the law, and of the Pharisees, he was a Pharisee, and he was a descendant of the tribe of Benjamin, the favorite tribe, and so he had quite a pedigree. It's just he had not noticed the truth about Jesus Christ, and he certainly had believed the Bible, believed God, and believed for the Messiah, and trusted and believed God for that. But he had difficulty assigning that faith to this Jesus. And when he consented to the stoning of Stephen, he was pierced severely, just as the men of Israel were on the day of Pentecost when they realized they had believed this, they had believed the coming Messiah, and yet they were so far removed from the truths of the Bible, the scriptures, they went along with the murder of Jesus. So we'll just define keeping your salvation equals keeping the law, and then we can look and see what's the big deal about keeping the law. Hostis, so whosoever, for, of course, for whosoever, holon, ton, nomon, just freehanding here, teirese, very familiar, teirese, future, will keep the whole law, that's ceremonial, moral, and civil law. And you know that in religion and in our flesh, we like to scale this down. We don't really like to talk about the law in its fullness. As Paul told the Galatians, those who were advocating law become a debtor to the whole law, civil, moral, and ceremonial. Will keep the whole law. It says, Pataise, he will, notice this is inevitable, he will offend, here's subordinating conjunction, but he will offend in one law, Remember, there's 253 that correspond to physiology and anatomy of man, 360 negative commands for each day of the 360-day year. There's thought, word, and deed in one. Gonen has become, this is from Genoma, has become and remains ponton all laws. And it says enokos, a guilty one. Even in the book of James, when people use it to teach works to become regenerated, works to keep your salvation, works to not lose your salvation, they don't speak of the works of the law. And the standard of righteousness here is the whole law. And to scale it down would be to your peril, because from what I know, there's just not a lot of effort, even for those who in our Western culture say they're Sabbath keepers, meaning they attend their church services, whatever that is, on a Sunday. They certainly don't observe the Sabbath as taught in the Bible, and wouldn't even know all the meticulous details. So this is it. Keep your salvation. Best I've learned all over these years of, I can't ask a religious person because they change the topic and they really don't know how to give an answer. Keep your salvation. And remember, according to Jude 1, we are not only have been sanctified and always being sanctified and set apart in God, but we're also being kept and always being kept in Jesus Christ. So keep your salvation equals keep the law. I'll go ahead and remember what Paul said about the whole law. So that's it. That's just a good way to define it. And then listen to how many different ways people scale that and tamp it down, because there's some even say that in the Old Testament they had to keep the law to be saved. Now that's an error, but they say that. So if they believe they could keep it then and think they have to keep their salvation now, they would have to advocate. And that's what they're doing. They just don't know. So have a blessed day and enjoy this lesson.